Welcome to Hidden Acres Outdoors. I'm David, and it's time for some maintenance on the TYM T574, so let's get with it. All right, what we're going to do is take my TYM T574 with a hydrostatic drive, and we're going to do some the 50-hour maintenance stuff to it. We're going to change out the engine oil and the filters, the hydraulic oil and the filters, and we're also going to change out the front axle oil with some 80 weight 90 gear oil, and an added bonus that is not called for in the manual, but I've got a friend that's the TYM regional maintenance rep. He says to go ahead at your 50 hour and drain and flush your radiator and refill that with green antifreeze. So we're going to do that, seeing as how he's the expert at it and I'm not. The other thing we're going to do is go ahead and grease this thing up real well, hit all the grease zerks. Okay, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need almost 11 gallons of hydraulic fluid. You're going to need a bucket to catch your hydraulic fluid in, because that's a lot of oil coming out of that thing, and this little 6-gallon engine oil drain here will not handle all of it. So if you don't have a couple of 5-gallon buckets ready to go, brother, you're going to have a mess. You're going to need about 2 gallons. I'll put the capacities for this particular tractor in the description below, so you'll know what you need, and it comes straight off of TYM's website. You're also going to need some 80 weight 90 gear oil for the front axle. As far as filters, mine's a hydrostatic, so I have a hydrostatic filter here, the engine oil filter, and the main hydraulic filter here. And we have, as far as tools are concerned, we've got a 17 millimeter socket set, a 22 millimeter. The 22 is for the hydraulics, the 17 is for the engine oil. You need an oil filter wrench of some sort, and especially at your 50 hour, it's going to be tough because those things are painted on. So just keep working with it, and you'll eventually get it. You're also going to need at least 1 tube of grease, and an electric grease gun if you have it, because you really need to keep these things greased up. Shop towels, obviously. Rags if you want to keep your hands clean. And either a 1/2 inch or a crescent wrench or something for the nuts up on the front axle. I broke it loose, didn't I? Let's see if that'll work better there. And we'll get ready for the torrent of oil, because I'm not really sure where it's going to pour out as of yet. Like I said, you wouldn't have to fool with that if you didn't have this mounting here for your subframe mount on the backhoe. But we do, so. And it goes without saying, be sure you're on a fairly level surface. Park and brake is set. All that good safety stuff. Well, most of it seems to be coming out through that hole, but don't forget there's 2 drain plugs on the end. There we go. Alright, while we let that drain, we'll go ahead and get this oil filter off. And there shouldn't be too much that leaks out of this since we've already drained the oil. A little bit of a mess, but we'll let that drain. We've got the other drain plug already installed. I just need to tighten it. And the only thing we're looking for, any kind of metal shavings or anything else on this, clean it off. Make sure our seal here, the black part around it, is good. Doesn't look like it has any cracks. And I'm going to clean off the where this goes back into the oil pan on the tractor. Screw it back in finger tight. Then use our 17mm wrench, tighten it up some. We should be good to go. Now what I do, and what I think most people do, is just take a little bit of the old oil, rub it around your seal here on the new oil filter. And I'll leave it up to you. I'm not going to, but some people will fill this thing halfway up or whatever. I'll just wait and let that fill as I get the engine oil in there. Again, drop a comment below if you've got another way of doing it, or if you prefer one way or the other with the reason why. And we'll start an internet flame war. How's that? Make sure you get all the crap wiped away from the where it mounts here. Keep that crap from going into your oil filter in the first place, and you won't have to worry about it. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to crank this thing on here, get it hand tight. You don't want to torque this thing down forever in a day. We're going to get it hand tight, go about half a turn with it, and then back it off a little bit after that, after we get it seated. If you've done this a time or two, you kind of get the feel for it. We're not really torquing on this. We're just getting it down to where it's tight, and we'll check it for leaks after we're done anyway. Alright, let's throw some engine oil in this thing. Takes 15 weight 40, and the manual says about 6.8 quarts. And I'm not sure if that's with or without the filter. If you know, drop it in the comments. But we'll pour some in there and just check it. Whew. That gum bee was buzzing my ear. Your dipstick sits back here behind your oil filter. But it's not too difficult to get to. The hard part's holding your mouth right to find the hole to get it back in there. Alright, no juvenile jokes. There we go, we got an eyeball on it now. It's finding the right angle where you can see that hole. Push it back in there. And we're getting on the dipstick, but we ain't there yet. Let's add another couple of quarts. We're almost perfect. We're going to add a little bit more because there's none in the filter yet. Alright. Dipstick back in. We'll check it one more time and then give her a crank. See where we are. Yeah, we're just a little bit over right now. Actually, we're pretty much right on there. Let's crank it and see what we end up with. May have to add just a touch more. Don't scream at me. The brake's on. Range is in neutral. Hey, we just had a big thunderstorm pop up yesterday while we were trying to get all this work done. So we will go ahead and end this one here and pick up next week with the front axle oil and changing that out, and the hydraulic oil. And probably the next video after that is when we'll show where all the grease zerks are, how to lube this thing up, and then some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way to keep your TYM T574 operating like it was factory new. So we'll see you next time, Hitmakers Outdoors. Bye.